Farms are essential when it comes to bigger builds in a forever world, which is why today I'm going to be taking these mountains and transforming them into the ultimate farm setup in my Minecraft forever world. Join me and my foxy friend Millie as we set out to create something not only cozy, but functional. Alright guys, we are back in our forever world, isn't that right, Millie? Now today we have some pretty big projects ahead of us, so let's make sure we have all of the stuff we need. As you can see, we have a great deal of wheat growing over here, but not a lot else. You know what we do have though? Mountains. So my thoughts were that we could create the ultimate cozy mountain farm today. And this isn't just gonna be another wheat farm, this is gonna be all sorts of farms. So let's go to our wheat farm, grab some wheat to top off our food, and then we'll head out for some more materials tomorrow. I headed underground for iron and coal, as well as stone, tuff, dripstone, moss, clay, and glowberries. Once that was done, I picked up some oak, spruce, and azalea leaves. I then picked up cabbages, tomatoes, rice, and onions. A pocket full of flowers later, and I was heading out to get started. Okay, so I'm not going to do too much to this right now because this is supposed to be about the farms, but I think generally having our mine here in the center might be a good idea, and I would kind of like it to be inspired by the mines of Moria from Lord of the Rings. So I want to start with that big facade so that we can put the rest of our farms around it. And honestly, it'd be nice to just have a big awesome center point, since although our farms will be adorable, I think we need something to ground the vision around. So let's finish getting this area dug out, then we can get to the fun building part. Alright, I feel like that's probably enough space, so let's get to work on this floor. So I'm going to do an outline with some of these stone bricks and a little mix of these mossy stone bricks. Then let's add in some mossy cobblestone with a few stairs just across this part. Then in the center here, I thought we could just fill in a sort of circle-ish shape. That is dangerous snow. And then around this little sort of semicircular shape, we can just fill in the area with normal stone. Then with this flooring part done, let's get down here and add in a wall. So I think what I'm going to do is just get rid of all of this grass here and dirt. And then just fill in all of these empty spaces with these mossy cobblestone bricks, or mossy stone bricks even, and some of these etched stone bricks from the chipped mod. And with the foundation all done, we can get to work on the walls. So I got to work placing what felt like every possible variation of stone and mossy stone that I could get my hands on to build up the walls of our mine entrance / centerpiece. I really wanted this thing to pop out from the mountain it's carved into while still using stone tone so it didn't look too out of place. So it needed to be super textured and detailed, which meant a lot of trial and error and just block shuffling in general until it looked right. I really had to lock in for this build, mostly due to all the different blocks I was needing to use, and the level of detail also played a big part of that for sure. I just had to turn up my Spotify playlist and let myself be absorbed into my forever world. Once the walls were mostly how I wanted them, I moved on to the archway, and oh my gosh, this thing turned out so good. It was big, dramatic, and framed what would eventually be a huge set of spruce double doors made from a mix of spruce variants to give that illusion. I really wanted that stunning, grand Lord of the Rings feel, and I feel like I got it. Then I hopped inside and dug further into the mountain to create more depth behind our entrance so I had some room to decorate. To finish that section off, I added some chunky support posts to make it feel like a real working mine. You know, like you'd expect to see someone just hauling minecarts through at any second. After that, it was back outside to top it all off with a big stony roof. Just like the rest of the build, I threw in a bunch of block variation to make sure it had the same weathered, been here forever kind of vibe, and honestly, at this point, I had such a clear vision that I was refusing to stop until every detail was just right. Finally, I headed back in to finish off a few cozy touches on the interior, and just like that, at long last, our epic, over-the-top mine entrance was done. Now this thing is definitely more of an aesthetic build right now. To make it functional, I may come back to this later. We do have these little rails that go from side to side, but unfortunately they don't actually go anywhere. But this is looking super duper cute. I'm honestly just gonna make this area an unofficial storage and just empty my pockets because this has been absolutely claustrophobic, having a full inventory. That feels much better. And I'm sure by this point you guys are absolutely itching to see what this thing looks like from the outside. So here you go. How insane does that look? Honestly, remember when I said I wasn't going to do too much when I started building this thing? I might have lied. Obviously, this thing looks insane in the best possible way, but let's get ourselves back to the safety of the ground and get prepped for our next thing tomorrow, which will be a farm, guys. I do think this would be a very silly farm build if it didn't include some food. So obviously we have a bunch of wheat already, but it'll be nice to have some other stuff going on at our base. So let's get the plot set up and then we can figure out what we're going to plant where. So we've got our basic platform sort of area, and now I'm just going to fill in a few areas here with these dark oak planks that are going to be the sort of markers for where we're going to put our water. So let's do a couple like this, just like this, and like that. And then let's just do the same on the other side. I also want to add some detail under here, which is going to be really finicky to do, but we're going to give it a go. So I'm just going to place these blocks here like this, and then we'll go ahead. I think I actually want to do this on this spot here. Oh, wait, okay, this is actually going to make my life easier. So I'm going to build my way up. This is still going to be really difficult. I should probably go get my scaffolding, but never mind. So let's just add in some fences like this, and then we're going to have to move a couple blocks back. Then let's do this, and then we're just going to keep doing this all the way along the bottom until the whole thing is filled in. So by using the other blocks as a base, we're able to have these oak logs the right way up, and we're just going to top them off with some spruce logs. And let's make sure all of those are stripped to match the tone of everything else going on here. Then to cover up the fences, we're going to use some stairs to also create an outline of the farm. And now I'm just going to create an infinite water source over here in the corner, just like this. And then I'm going to fill in all of these gaps with dirt so that we can make farmland once the water is in. Oh, let's make sure we leave gaps for the water holes. And that's also what these stairs are here. They're just placeholders because that's where I'm going to put the bits of water. Now that's done, we can get rid of our placeholders and let's get these holes filled up. Then to make it look a little bit tidier, we're just going to cover these up with spruce trapdoors. Just before the sun goes down here, let's get all of this land tilled. For our fencing, I'm going to use barrels as details, which will also double up as a little bit of storage for all of our crops. And honestly, I think I'm going to double up on the barrels here just because of how I want to do the fencing in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of these trapdoors to these pieces of stripped spruce right here. And then we're going to close off this fencing with more of these trapdoors, just like this. Then to make this look super cute, we're going to add in some flower pots on each of these. And of course, let's fill it up with some of these. And then let's add in some lighting and some more pots. I've added in this little extra platform down here, and I intend to cover this thing in leaves and just sort of join it up like this, but honestly it's going to be a little bit difficult because I am hanging off the side of a mountain. But I think what I'm going to have to do is just do exactly what I'm doing now, and then sort of jump down here, build up, and then I can have a few sort of hanging leaves across here. And I think I'm going to use this farm here for specifically my Farmer's Delight crops. I love these crops and definitely want to make sure I have a good supply of them. I'm thinking cabbages, tomatoes, rice, and onions. Then in the future, if we ever do a video with the Farmer's Delights crops, we have them all here ready to go. And so we can see this farm in all its glory, I'm going to use my trusty watering can to bone meal everything so it's all fully grown in. Okay, now that is looking super satisfying. Oh my goodness. Okay, I can just tell that when this is all done, this is going to be a great addition to our base. But the sun is going down, so let's get to bed, Mills. Good night. I started underground gathering iron, coal, and obsidian. After that was sorted, I went searching for potatoes, beetroot, and carrots. I then picked up some spruce, oak, leaves, and filled up my water buckets. I spent some time with nearby villagers hoping to get a silk touch book. And once I did, I put it onto a fresh diamond pickaxe. Alright, so this next food farm is gonna be for our vanilla crops. Minus wheat, of course, because we obviously have a ton of wheat over by my house already. So I'm thinking carrots, potatoes, and probably beetroot for this one. I'm kicking things off with the exact same process we used for the first farm, just getting that nice sturdy platform built. I feel like it's just the obvious way to do things and the best way to give everything a solid foundation to make life so much easier for when we place the water and the dirt later. Honestly, I feel like I should be relishing in the simplicity of these food farms while I can, because let's be honest, some of the farms that we've got coming up are going to be way more complicated. Not necessarily in the building side of things, that's always the fun bit, but more in the actual getting the functionality to work in the way that I want it to. So I'm just getting all of the details out of the way first, and then of course we'll go ahead and fill in our area with our farmland and our crops. Once all of the structural and decorative details around the farm were done and dusted, I jumped into placing down all of the dirt blocks and carefully popped in the water sources to make sure everything would stay nice and hydrated. Then came the satisfying part, tilling everything into beautiful, rich farmland, ready and waiting for our crops. I went ahead and planted potatoes, carrots, and beetroot, the classic vanilla trio, and then whipped out my trusty watering can from the meadow mod. That way, all of our crops could be fully grown in and we could see the farm in all of its glory. Super handy, super satisfying, and the whole farm came to life in no time. So that's both our Farmer's Delight and our vanilla crop farms finished. And I was thinking, if we want to have any sort of nether wart, the crimson or warped mushrooms, we're gonna need a portal. So let's get that sorted out today. We could of course just build a portal and leave it at that, but you guys know me, we have to make it cute too. I'm not going to do anything too crazy, and I know I've said that before and kind of betrayed your guys' trust with that, but trust me this time it is going to be really simple. I'm just covering the sides of the obsidian to make it look a little bit more whimsical, and of course I will cover this thing in leaves because it's not an end build unless there are leaves all over it. Now let's get this thing lit and of course add in some spruce fence gates so that nothing scary can come out of here. You see guys, as I promised, nothing too crazy, just a little extra over the standard portal. Besides, we already have this really cool portal over by our house. However, it doesn't hurt to have another portal over here because when we're over here, of course, we don't want to have to travel over here to go into the nether, if that makes sense to you guys at all. And I feel like this is a good time to say I am absolutely dreading getting netherite. We're gonna have to do it one of these days, but thankfully today is not that day. I was just letting you guys know that I'm scared for when that day comes. So I logged in today and my inventory immediately made me claustrophobic. So I'm just getting a storage area sorted. So I'm just going to create a little platform area right here, and then I'll dig out some of these wall areas here to add in our chests. But for now, let's get these details added. Oh, and it sounds like somebody has come through our portal, and it's not Millie. Unless Millie is making that noise, and I should be concerned. Alright, let's get this area dug out. So I'm just going to take out enough space for 2 double chests. Just like that, easy peasy. And of course we're going to have to take out these blocks here and replace them with some stairs so that we can actually open the top chests. Perfect. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. And we can go ahead and offload everything we don't need for this part of the build, just to get it out of my inventory. So we could get a fair bit of damage if we fell from up here, so of course, let's add in a bit of fencing. Oh, actually, before we do that, let's add in the details on the edge of these blocks here, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit finicky like this is now. So, oh, let's just crouch around that part. Get these parts done. And now let's get back to placing these fences. Oh, I might need to make some more fence gates, honestly. Or are we just gonna make it? Oh my goodness, we are. Okay, perfect. And now we have a really simple but super handy storage area. All right, Mills, the sun is going down and we have to head out for some more materials tomorrow. So let's get ourselves to bed. I started by picking up some spruce, pine, dark oak, and azalea leaves. I then detoured to the nether for soul sand, netherwort, crimson nylium, various nether mushrooms, and regular mushrooms. Once that was done, I headed to the overworld caves for stone, moss, name tags, iron, coal, and diamonds for tool repairs. I picked up some sand, dirt, and mud, as well as some sugarcane before heading home. So we have this teeny tiny netherwort farm over at our house, but I feel like we could benefit from having a farm over on the mountains. So let's head back over there and get that done today. So let's start by building up a foundation with various stone blocks. If you're wondering, I broke the portal because it was just a little bit noisy to be over here building with it on. So just for the time being, it is unlit. Okay, so that's pretty much our foundation slash outline done. Let's add in a little bit of this right here just to give it a little bit of dimension. I also thought it'd be really cute to add this little heart kind of detail. Of course, that doesn't look like a heart, but just bear with me here and I'm gonna try and make it look like one. Ta-da! I feel like that looks kind of like a heart, right? Anyways, let's get this thing filled in with soul sand. And I'm just digging out these areas of grass and replacing it with soul sand so that it doesn't look so random. And now I need to also get rid of all of these blocks because I need to change these into soul sand too. I've actually opted to dig out a little bit of a pathway situation because I feel like having to walk across soul sand is just unnecessary if you don't need to. So at least this way we can run to and from our portal a little bit easier than walking so slowly on soul sand. Now with that done, we can finally plant all of our netherwort. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I'm actually going to keep this unlit because I'm going to add a mushroom farm behind the portal, which means we better get to digging. So before we build out the actual area with the mushrooms, I'm just decorating our little walkway here with alternating blocks between spruce and pine planks. And I'm actually going to bring this all the way up and over the ceiling as well. Alright, it is dark outside and we're not in any particular kind of rush, but I am just gonna get to digging with my little torch here because I cannot be bothered to walk all the way back to my house right now. Not really liking the sound of those spiders. I'm hoping I don't pop out and see them, but they do sound kind of nearby. Oh gosh, there's zombies too. Oh no, okay, it sounds like they're getting closer and closer, honestly. I thought all of the mobs were meant to be like outside because it's nighttime, right? Get out there. What are you doing in my little cave area that I'm digging out? Okay, that's this area sorted for now. Let's get our crimson nylium down. Actually, I feel like I want this to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to keep digging out this way. And hopefully I can sort of even it out on both sides. I don't know. I just feel like this isn't big enough. I do have a feeling though that I'm gonna have to go back home, grab some diamonds and repair this pickaxe because it is getting very low on durability and yeah, we have quite a lot of stone to get rid of here. All right, perfect. Let's get the rest of this nylium put in, and to be honest, we're still gonna have to dig out some extra pieces of the wall because we need to fill it in with some stripped spruce logs. Okay, wait, I completely forgot that I need to plant some normal mushrooms as well, so let's just add in a little patch of normal dirt in this section. All right, with the walls all filled in and some nice lighting added, let's just add in some spruce fence gates like this, and then let's get our mushrooms planted. Now with those all planted, let's just add some extra details to make it look a little bit cuter in here. So I'm gonna add in these upside down stairs to create a sort of archway effect. Just like that, and obviously I'm gonna do that on both sides. Then I'm going to add in some more supports, just like this. Although I think I'm going to have to place some temporary blocks here so that we can add the stairs up like that. And with the addition of some lovely leaves, we have a very lovely mushroom farm. The idea here is that if I need anything mushroom related, I can just bone meal them and then get whatever I need from the mushrooms from right here, I think. Honestly, if that isn't the case, we just have a very aesthetic little mushroom farm. But let's get ourselves to bed for a well-deserved nap. Now, honestly, for our sugarcane farm, I think I'm going to continue with the whole behind the nether portal thing and build a little bit further back from our mushroom farm to get to the sugarcane farm. And surprise, this is actually what this forever world is going to be themed around. Tunnels. Welcome to my tunnel world. Of course, I'm joking, but I do feel a little bit addicted to digging right now. Minecraft, but I spend 1 billion hours mining stone. Okay, that's our little hallway dug out. Now let's change this over to be our pine planks and then do the same thing we did for this hallway for this hallway. And now we're back to work just digging out even more stone because we need some space for our actual sugarcane farm. I'm honestly really suspicious of those sounds because they're kind of consistent, which makes me think that there's either a spider spawner and like a mine shaft right near me right now, or maybe just a dungeon or something with a spawner. I don't know, but I am very suspicious. Okay, I did some digging, literally, and it looks like there is in fact a dungeon right there. So we're going to ignore it for now, but it may come in handy for later. In the meantime, let's fill in this floor with some dark oak planks. And now just before we actually put our farm in here, let's just add some wall details by doing the exact same thing that we did for inside the mushroom bit. So we're just going to do a few stripes of pine planks, and then in the middle we're going to do strip spruce logs. Easy peasy. And now to frame our sugarcane farm, I'm going to go ahead and use these trapdoors just like this. Then with our sand, we can just alternate and create a checkerboard pattern like this, and we'll add in water in each of the holes. Let's just create a little infinite water source here to make life easy. And let's fill in all of these holes. And with that, let's clean up our water source, and we'll clean up the sand in a second. But let's finally plant in our sugarcane. So whilst the sugarcane happily grows itself in, let's get ourselves to bed. In the morning, I headed out for iron, coal, clay, stone, and dripstone. Once that was sorted, I picked up some oak, pine, spruce, and leaves. I then spent some time locating and trapping, relocating some villagers and a zombie to prep for my iron farm. So, I find that iron is actually really annoying to get from mines, and trust me, I would know. I feel like I spend a lot of my time mining iron. So, I was thinking an iron farm is honestly the way to go here. I may regret making this decision when it gets to actually trying to get the farm to work how it's meant to, but for now, let's just get the structure built. Okay, so I guess we can say that that is technically the frame of this thing done, so now let's just fill this in to make the foundation of this thing done. Honestly, I've seen my fair share of iron farms that are, let's just say, functional over fashionable. You know, the kind just like big, clunky, and usually made out of whatever stone blocks were on hand. But recently I came across a tutorial by someone called a Jack Minecraft, and they absolutely nailed it with a cozy and cute version of the classic iron farm setup. So, a major shout out to them for sparing me the pain of trying to make a massive stone contraption look aesthetically pleasing, and instead giving me a blueprint that already fits perfectly into my world's vibe. Okay, well, I fear I've done something wrong here because this isn't what I intended, but maybe if I put these down? Okay, yeah, we can go back on what we were trying to do here. All right, perfect. Although, actually, I think it's not perfect because this is meant to end right on the edge. So what I need to do is probably take out these pieces right here. And then let's just replace that with some normal blocks for now, because then we can make this whole line here water, and then get rid of these. And we're basically just going to have to start again here with the water placement. Oh, I Okay, I need to make an infinite water source. So we can go all the way across here with our water. And then we're going to have to break all of these blocks here so that we can place our palisades back in. Then just to be safe, I'm going to move our infinite water source over here just in case I've made any mistakes. And then let's just fill this in, get rid of that, and get rid of these. Wait, have I done something wrong here? This feels wrong. I'm just going to do the exact same thing again and just see where it lands me. Where is that going to? Oh, hang on. Maybe I can test it on this side. Does that go right to the end? Okay, it does. Wait, is it going off the end? No. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We have not made a mistake. This is going incredibly well for me now. So let's just cover up these bits of water right here. And of course, get rid of these extra pieces of oak log. Then let's just swim up this little bit of water here and get rid of these oak logs and replace it with some of our trapdoors. Not trapdoors, pressure plates. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm being attacked right now. I'm being attacked right now. I'm not being attacked, but I'm being followed and it's really upsetting me. I just wanted to build up the rest of my house thing, but this guy has just got it out for me. Oh. Okay, never mind. Problem solved, I guess. So now we're just gonna build up the actual like house part of this farm. So I think I've already built up 2 blocks before I was interrupted. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can just jump right down into the water and do the same for all the other posts. So now with the posts done, let's do a little outline for our walls. And then we can get to work building up the walls. So we're going to go up just like this, then leave a gap. And that will be our window. And I almost forgot that I need to add these palisades on each side. Well, I don't need to, but they're just going to look cute if I do. So I am going to add them. Then on the front, let's leave a gap on both sides so we have a little double window situation. And then we just need to mirror this side on this side. Now let's join these up with some of these stripped spruce logs, and then tomorrow we can get to work on the roof. Ouch! Okay, well I guess we'll do that part tomorrow because I've just fallen and I need to go to bed anyways. Ah! I'm gonna freeze to death. Alright, we are back and better than ever. So let's get this little outline done here and make sure all of these are stripped. Then let's do the same on the other side. And then let's join these up on this side. And now I'm just finishing up the roof with some oak slabs and stairs. And just to add a few more of my own personal touches, I'm gonna add in this little awning here at the front. Although I don't really know if this is technically an awning. I'm not sure what makes something in an awning, but that's what I'm calling this. Now to sort out the interior. So this side is gonna be where the zombie goes, and for some reason I have to do this. On this side, we're going to place down our 3 pink beds for our villagers. And then we're going to go ahead and put down some stone slabs. I don't think it needs to be stone slabs. I think it can be any kind of slabs, but we're using stone slabs like this tutorial says so that we don't mess up. Then across here, we need to put some trapdoors, just like that. And we're going to need to put a row of blocks along here so that the golem can't spawn on top of either of these trapdoors. Then down here is going to be our kill zone. So let's just put in a couple chests for now, and then of course a couple hoppers. Then we need to cover this entire thing with hoppers, just like this. And then of course we need a way out of here. Perfect. Okay, I had to sacrifice a little bit of the farm because I think if something flies off the edge here, it's gonna land on like this block here. So hopefully that does the job and an iron golem can't get out of here. But let's go and grab our zombie and our villagers and try and get this farm started. So we have Bob hiding in here and I'm gonna attempt to pick him up with my pickup mod if it would let me. Okay, or not. Let's just lead it the old-fashioned way. Okay, never mind. I managed to grab hold of him, but he does kind of block my view a little bit when I'm trying to run around with him like this. But it's fine. This is the easiest way to get him up the mountain. Let's jump up this little staircase that I've made. And then we need to put him down in here. Ouch! That wasn't very nice. I've given you a nice new home where you can never die. Anyways, let's get some dinner in me and get myself to bed. Now, just like we did with Bob, we're gonna grab a couple villagers in the exact same way. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I'm taking these 3. I'm just gonna run up and down the mountain with them, and then eventually we'll have all 3, and then I guess the farm should just start on its own. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the tutorial again. All right, that's 1 villager in. Let's go get a couple more. Here's villager number 2. Gosh, this is such a long walk when I can't run. That's number 2. Now let's go get number 3. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I feel like if I didn't have this carry mod, then I would be a little bit screwed for this kind of thing. But luckily I have it, and it makes my life so much easier. I can't imagine if I had to like use rails, or I don't even know what else I would use to get up there. So very thankful for this mod right now, even if it does look absolutely ridiculous when I'm carrying things. I do have a feeling that we're gonna have to wait till nighttime or something, because I think they have to sleep and use the beds before anything can start happening. But honestly, I have no idea. All right. Oh, okay, wait. It's already happening. I was about to say that these guys are finally sleeping, but they're doing something insane, honestly, right now, and I'm hearing an iron golem dying. Wait, why isn't it dying down here? Is it dying up here? Where is that coming from? Okay, so it looks like that was happening right here behind the build, which is not ideal because I feel like they're going to continue to spawn here, which isn't a problem with the build itself. I think it's just where I've put it. It's not really working. Maybe I can sort of just dig down from here, and maybe we can fix it by doing something like this. Okay, this may not be perfect, but I feel like it is our best bet for this working. So let's get ourselves probably out of the farm here. If we can do that easily, I guess not. Let me just get out this way. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see if the next one that spawns doesn't die in the mountain. I'm gonna be so honest, I've just been on an absolute journey trying to get this to work. So I did the thing down here to obviously fix the issue we were having, but then the iron golem was spawning in the roof. So I went up into the roof and added some carpet up there so it can no longer spawn. And then it was just spawning in the mountain again. So hopefully what I've done now should work. I guess we can just hope and pray. Oh, hang on. We're about to die in our little trap here. Okay, it's definitely spawned where I need it to spawn. Finally. Now we just got to see if it falls into the hole, which it does. And then that will just slowly die. Oh, ouch. And then we'll have hopefully some iron and stuff just going on down here. It is taking a little longer to die than I thought it would, honestly. And there we go. So we already have, oh, there we go. We just saw it fill up. We already had a few pieces in here because I just threw all of the iron that I got from the misplaced golems in there. So, all right. Good to know that that works. I am just going to double check. I don't know if another one spawns immediately, but it would be nice if it did so that we could see it happen. I was on my way home to bed and then I just saw that one sort of floating around. So, oh, wait. Ah, it's already happening. No, wait, where is that happening to? Oh, don't tell me it's up here. Ah. We're going to die. We're going to die. We're going to freeze to death. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. We're fine. Just being dramatic. Ah, oh my gosh, that was close. I'm honestly just gonna stand here and hope for the next one to just fall down here or spawn here or just spawn anywhere but where it shouldn't be spawning. I hear something coming. Oh, and there it is. Okay, I think I've got the farm working. I don't think it's perfect at the moment, but we're gonna have to come back for this because I've got other things to do. But for the meantime, it's half working, that's for sure. So I was considering doing a clay farm this way, but it's sounding very mobby and I've got a feeling I'm about to pop out into a cave. Or honestly, a dungeon, because it's sounding like there's a lot of zombies. Goodness. Oh, okay. Well, there's the cobblestone. So, yep, this is a dungeon, which actually might work in our favor right now. So let's just see what we're dealing with. We're obviously dealing with a lot of zombies. Oh my goodness. But I think if we just sort of get ourselves... Ah, the little ones come through the hole. Ah, oh no, they're all coming. What have I done? Gosh, okay, well, I think we might have to make an XP farm right here, because it's proving to be quite a... I've honestly lost the words because I'm so scared right now. Effective one. That's what I was trying to say. Gosh, these guys are really coming for me. There's so many. Whew. Okay, well, that was a little bit intense, wasn't it? Oh, there's another one. Oh my gosh, there's actually so many. This is so scary. Maybe I can... No, that's not what I wanted to do. Am I ever going to be able to get back in there? It seems like there's just hundreds of these spawning every second. Oh, and not a zombie villager. All right, let's try and get in there quick and get a torch on this thing. Gosh, they must have been spawning for a while. I also hope that does actually stop them from spawning. So I think the move here to make this like a valid spawner is going to be to build underneath this whole area and then like add a little platform with the water and then like some campfires to kill everything that's spawning maybe? I don't know, but we're just gonna dig out this whole area underneath and hopefully it comes together nicely. This honestly wasn't really in the plan. This is just working out perfectly for me right now. Besides being absolutely ambushed by a million zombies right then. So let's go ahead and create a platform with these slabs. We're gonna go... was that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across like that. So let's just finish filling this in just like this. Then let's run around this bit with this block. Then along this row here, we're going to do some trapdoors and we're going to want to get rid of all of this mossy cobble and normal cobblestone underneath the spawner. In this gap down here, we're going to do a bunch of campfires and then we need to do another layer of these trapdoors. Then before we take the torches off this thing and add in the water, let's break down the walls a little bit so that we can add in some spruce and pine just like we have everywhere else so it looks all nice and cohesive and just much prettier than a bunch of stone. For some reason, I'm like paranoid that more zombies are going to spawn even though there's just no chance because that is not how Minecraft works. And it would probably help if I hold my torch so that I can actually see what I'm doing and so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing too. Just like we did for the iron farm, we're going to add in some water all the way along the back row. Oh, then if any zombies fall out of this and into the water, they'll just go down straight into the campfires and we can just stand there and get all of the XP from the campfires doing all of the work. Let's just cover those in. Let's get rid of this and obviously get rid of the dirt. And let's get rid of these. Okay, well the zombies should technically be already spawning, so now I'm concerned. Do you think it's the campfires actually? I think I may have needed to put them one layer down, which means I'm gonna have to break all of these, which is so depressing because they don't break fully. Wait, I forgot I literally have a silk touch pick. Ah, gosh, this is getting scary now. I probably should have put the probably should have put the torches on the thing before I started doing this. Maybe I'll get myself up there and do that now, actually. Nothing is ever straightforward for me, is it? So let's get rid of this right here. Let's grab our campfires with our silk touch pick. And now we're one extra layer down. Let's add our campfires and get ourselves up and out of here. Then if we get ourselves back over here so that we can take the torch off, hopefully the zombies will start spawning. Why are they not spawning? You know what it is? I think I put the roof on the wrong layer because there's not enough room for it to spawn, right? Again, nothing is ever straightforward here, is it? So let me just build out like this. Okay, or not. I guess we'll do it that way. And then let's break this down and move it up a level. Gosh, I should have thought about this whilst I was building it, but I was kind of just getting carried away with getting the area finished, honestly. Okay, the roof is now one higher. If we go across here and break this, the zombies should start finally spawning. Ah! Okay, it's working. Oh my gosh, it's actually working. I cannot believe it. Something is working how I intended it to. Ouch! And now we gotta see if I can actually get the XP from just standing here, honestly. I feel like they may be... Yep, I think they're too low down. Ouch! Maybe I need to get myself down here too? What is going on, guys? All right, this is the setup that I'm working with right now. I don't know if this is even necessary, but I do think it's pretty handy. I'm just hoping that the tiny zombies can't get through this gap. They probably can, but I guess I'll just have to deal with that when and if it happens. Where are the rest of the zombies? There was like a million of them that wanted to come and get me earlier, but now there's like one every 10 seconds. What's going on? Anyways, the XP farm is technically working, so I'm gonna call this a win. There's probably some things we can do to edit it later on, but not this video because we have other farms to build still. I've gone ahead and mined a little chunk out of this mountain here to make way for a clay farm. And I know clay is pretty easy to harvest once you found a lush cave, but let's be honest, running around digging it up by hand every time isn't exactly the dream. Especially when you're in a cave being interrupted by all of the scary guys. So I figured, why not bring the convenience to me instead? I also think this one's actually pretty straightforward in terms of function. Hopefully I'm not wrong there, but there's no crazy redstone or like just spawning mechanics that apparently I'm not very good at. Just a neat, efficient setup that'll save us a ton of time in the long run when we need clay. And to be honest, I use a lot of flower pots in my build, so this is going to be super, super helpful. And this gives me an excuse to make another cute build to wrap it all in, which is really the main goal here, let's be honest. So let's just get the main structure of this thing up, and then of course we'll actually build the farm part. Alright, now we have all of our bricks. Let's get the actual farm area set up. So I'm just going to go across and create a little area like this. Mixing in these two different types of brick block just for aesthetics, honestly. Then along this side, we're good to just fill in the area like this. Let's mix these blocks up a little bit better. And then let's just fill in this side so that it's even. Then we can go ahead and fill this in with stone. In the middle here, I'm going to go with cobblestone slab. And then we're just going to add a piece of dripstone to every piece of stone. Easy peasy, let's get ourselves out of here. And then let's close up the gap. Then on the top here, we're just going to fill this in with gravel. I'm going to be 100% honest, I don't know what the gravel is for, but it was in the picture that I was looking at, so I added it too. To add a little bit of depth, I'm going to add in stairs to fill in this hole right here, and we're going to add in some extra brick walls. Then over here, I'm just adding a couple barrels so we have some storage. And this could technically be done here, but you guys know me, we need to make it extra super duper cute. So I'm just going to build up these areas right here with some spruce palisades, and we're going to add a little cute roof and of course some leaves to this. And with our roof done, here's what our little clay farm is looking like. Now, I realized that this farm is actually a little bit inconvenient because to make this turn into clay, you have to place a bunch of dirt, which is not the inconvenient part. But in order for the dirt to turn to mud and then turn to clay, we have to water it with water bottles, which takes 3 pieces of glass to fill, or to craft, sorry. So if you guys have any ideas on how to make this a much faster process and actually like a usable farm, that would be much appreciated. I do have water bottles, but obviously they don't stack up when they're full of water, so it's kind of hard to maneuver around with them. And I'm also not sure how long it takes for the mud to turn to clay. But for now, we're just gonna leave it like that and maybe pretend we didn't build this for now. Anyways, here is how our mountain farm is looking so far, and I gotta be honest, it does look really, really cool. I'm just trusting you guys to let me know what to do with this. But it's time to head out for some more resources because, like I said, we've got more farms to build. I set out for spruce wood, picking up saplings along the way. And then it was time to pick up saplings for mangrove, cherry, and dark oak. Once that was sorted, I headed underground for iron, coal, diamonds, and redstone to use for rails. Alright, let's play a game called How Many Tree Farms Can a British Girl Make really quickly? Let's start with the ones on the left. Okay, but seriously, these farms are just going to be for spruce and dark oak trees, and I promise I'm not going to do anything too wild with the design this time. I know I say that a lot, but I really mean it this time. Mostly because I'm itching to get started on a little fun railway system to zip around the farm with, and that's honestly where all my energy is trying to go right now. But it's very much giving I can't laugh yet, I've got to hold it in vibes, and please tell me you know the reference. I feel like that's kind of old now, but it's still giving that. Anyways, let's get these tree farms built. Now with both the outlines done, let's just get rid of the rest of the stone here and replace it with some dirt, which will of course eventually turn into grass like the rest of it. And then let's do the same down here. And now we just need to surround this thing with some fences. And I forgot to put in these extra pieces of spruce planks so that the fences can actually connect up together. Alright, much better. Not that it really makes a difference, but I did wait for all of the grass to turn into grass before I started planting these, just to make sure it all looks good when we step back and see it in all of its glory. I think that's probably going to be enough, because I think otherwise it's going to be a bit overcrowded, and to be honest, some of these might not even grow. Then down here we're going to go for dark oak saplings, and of course these are usually quite big trees, so I feel like I only want to put maybe 4 of these around and maybe just see what they do. I do have some bone meal, so we can at least speed up the process a little bit, or at least try to. I don't know why that one's not growing. Then that one is clearly too close. I feel like that's going to be too close. Maybe I should have made this farm a teeny tiny bit bigger. I managed to get a few trees growing in, and it's looking really good. So now let's get to work on the trees on the other side. So of course we've got to build a little platform and whatnot like we did over here. So let's get ourselves over there. For these 2 farms, I'm going to go with a mangrove tree farm and a cherry farm. Now I know there's already a bunch of cherry trees on the mountains surrounding our base here, but it doesn't hurt to have a dedicated space for them to be farmed. That way we don't risk ruining the landscape by getting rid of all of the cherry trees that are already around the place, and we're only getting rid of the ones that are in the farm. Does that make any sense to anyone but myself? Probably not, but hopefully it does. And just like that, our right side farms are complete. I feel like we've done a really awesome job so far, honestly. But now it is time for our railways, and today's goal is to connect all of the various areas of the farms with the railway tracks so that I can send things in chests and minecarts around, just to make transportation easier. Alright, I'm gonna leave this side as is for now, but I've finished this side with a little block mechanism, and it's not entirely automated. Oh, I should probably power that. But it is pretty good, for now at least. Let's place that in. Oh. It's really trying. No, okay, let me fix that properly. I added in another powered rail right here, so hopefully that fixes it. Let's press our button, just like that, and that is perfect. And now our minecart with a chest is over here, ready to pick up all of our crops and whatnot if we needed to. Then for our third rail, I'm just gonna add in a little cart right here that goes in behind the portal. Wait, actually, I just switched that out for a powered rail. Completely forgot that that is what I need, but yep, this one goes just inside behind the portal, and just makes it easy to do. Well, honestly, it's just for show. I'm gonna be completely honest. I just thought it'd be really cool to add a rail system to it, even though it is technically easier to just use our feet. On the topic of the portal though, we do need to relight it. So now that's lit, and our little farm behind it is technically hidden and a secret. But it's really cool because obviously we can still just go right through like this, easy peasy. Honestly, I feel like the lit portal actually adds to the vibe a lot. But now let's make our way home, see what Millie's been up to honestly, and get ourselves out for some more materials in the morning. Let's see if Millie is in the barn. I feel like this is a quite likely place for her to be. Oh, you know, all my chickens are missing, so it could well be that Millie's been here. Or are they out here? Where are my chickens? Okay, well, I think Millie has been here, but it was a long time ago. Let's go check the house and the storage room. I feel like I haven't seen her in ages at this point. All right, quick run around the house. No Millie, no Millie. Any Millies around here? Nope, but apparently all of the doors are open. That is my bad. I have a habit of doing that. Let's go check the storage area. If she's not here, I'm gonna be a little bit worried, honestly. Okay, oh wait. Oh, there she is. Mills, what are you doing up here? Oh, okay, taking a nap. That's fine by me. I mean, unless you want to come into, you know, the cozy bed. All right, okay, let me pick you up then. Stop jumping around. Let's get Millie into our bed and honestly, let's get ourselves into our bed because that nighttime is coming by quick. Isn't that just so much more comfy, Mills? I headed underground for more iron, coal, and redstone for lanterns and rails. Once that was done, I gathered more spruce wood and azalea leaves before heading back to wrap everything up. Okay, so I've gone ahead and made the railway systems functional, to be honest. I was so excited to do them the other day, but I kind of got lost in the source and didn't really know what I was doing, so I just kind of ended up with random rails without really any reason for them. So what we're going to do is get ourselves behind the portal. Then we can place down our thingamabobby here. We can hop in, press the button, and this should send us all the way to the top with no problems at all. Just like that. And of course, we're able to go from the top back down to the bottom. We could obviously just walk down, but it's much more fun to ride the rail cart. Rail cart? What are they called? Mine carts. But with that done, let's get ourselves back down to the actual ground and get to work on our final details. Okay, I lied. I needed to go up and not down, but we're gonna start by adding in some lighting under here because it is pretty dark. We're also gonna need a little bit of lighting around the edge of the farm here. Ouch. And it's probably about time that we added a staircase to this mine thing that we built right at the start. And honestly, just to add a touch of spruce to the stone up here, I'm gonna add some of these hanging signs. And with that, I think it's safe to say our work here is done. For now. As I stood back and surveyed the once rocky outcropping turned bustling farm, I knew we had succeeded in creating the ultimate mountain farm right here in our forever world. My name is Em, this is Millie, and you have all been amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!